Santa Monica. This is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big Afternoons LALATE as we go into the final hours of Sunday, and Americans are getting excited as 4 stimulus checks are heading to the finish line. Those monthly stimulus checks you have wanted, and those 4 stimulus checks would be the single biggest payout viewers this channel have ever seen. I go over those monthly stimulus checks in this Afternoons LALATE recording. Stimulus checks that would start in the month of July and go all the way through at least December. It's incredible great news. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 major developing details that happened last week that signals that they're happening, and the big details coming this coming week about the push to get them out the door. Then I have an exclusive you're only hearing on this channel today about the 3rd stimulus check. Yes, more 3rd stimulus checks are going out, and you're only hearing them on this recording on Afternoons LALATE. Meantime, Americans are awaking to the incredible great news that we have waited for a very long time. This is the incredible great news about SSI reform. It is happening. SSI reform in its largest capacity will increase your benefits, increase the caps, increase the income exclusions, and remove the marriage penalty. I have all those details. Also, the incredible great news about student loan debt forgiveness of $50,000, the business grants, and more. It's a big Afternoons LALATE reporting. I'm so excited you're here. So much happening across the board. With that, I'm so excited for you as we approach our 1-year birthday today. It's been a big run, and we're far from over. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It's a Sunday afternoon, and the Oscars are about to start any minute, but I'm so excited you joined me for the best performance in a stimulus role. How are you? It is a Sunday afternoon, and this is part of our afternoon's broadcast. Coming after this is Evenings LALATE. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. In this recording, we're going over a lot of stuff. That 4th stimulus check, that SSI reform, the incredible great news about student loan debt forgiveness, also the add-ons that could slide into 4th stimulus, the big financial news, and what's coming next week that could signal where your 4th stimulus is going, and also all those side items like capital gains taxes. Okay, yeah, well, it was good until I got to that point. How are you? Let's get to the breaking news. 4th stimulus is heating up. That 4th stimulus is that monthly stimulus check that starts in July. And the president had 4 events happen this last week that signals that 4th stimulus is going out the door. I'll go over those 4 events in a second. But first, let's go over the moolah, the money. How much, where, when, how you see this, and how does this work? Let's understand that these stimulus checks start in the month of July, and that would continue month after month. Let's compare the House Democrats to the Senate Democrats. The House Democrats want to pay you a stimulus check for every month for the rest of this pandemic, plus 1 year. The senators want to give you a stimulus check from now to December, shorter period of time. But let's look at who's at issue here. The senators are the movers and shakers of the Democratic Party. The House members are junior members of Congress. And then what's the monthly check? Well, the House members want to give you $1,000 a month after the first month. The senators, the amount is unknown on a monthly basis. But word on the street is the amount is this. Yes, $2,000 a month for 6 months from the senators, which would be $12,000 for a single individual, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, or $8,400 for a single individual. Yes, this is the biggest payout you've ever seen on this channel. Yes, this is dwarfing anything you saw from second stimulus. And yes, this is for you. Let's go over the income qualifications. Same as third stimulus. Same as third stimulus. $75,000 or less, yes, you get a stimulus check. You would get this fourth stimulus. $150,000 or less, yes, you would get this. Household 4 or less. And yes, if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or rural benefits, you would get it. Very, very easy to understand. Now, common questions I get: when would it start? July. When would you get the first check? July. When would the vote be? July. What date in July? Leah Schumer and Speaker Pelosi say July 4th. When would they start it? May. When do they need to start it by? May. Will it go by recon? Yes. Has it started by recon? No. Has the president written the bill? No. Will the president write the bill? No. The senators and the House members write the bill, not the president. Will the president put stimulus checks in there? No. The House members and the senators are putting the stimulus checks in there. And away we go. What were the two major issues going into last week that could derail it? One, bipartisan support, and two, the economy rebounding at a faster growth across the board. Both events did not occur, and there's now indications that they may not ever occur. First, we have not one, not two, but three incredible support for forced stimulus out the door, and I'm going to go over them in this recording. First, I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to go over the details. And there's a fourth item, which is next week, which is coming up in a second. First, the Federal Reserve. Second, lack of bipartisan support. And third, the economy. All right, first, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is expected to make its announcement this coming week, its latest minute and notes. But insiders in advance of that hearing says that the Federal Reserve will say we need to support this economy a little bit more. Great news. Because the Federal Reserve, if they're supporting the economy, then the president and his team will support the economy and the Democrats. Number two, the economy. The economy. Last week, we learned that the economy is not rebounding at a rate faster than initially thought. Now, here's what you need to know. We are recovering. We are recovering fast. But 2 weeks ago, we saw us recovering at a rate in which we would be fully recovered by December. December's fine because the stimulus package we're talking about is 4th and it'll be done in July. So that's fine. But a week ago, we were a little worried because the unemployment numbers came in and the new jobless claims dropped by 250,000 in 1 week. It scared people because it meant if we're at 500,000 last week, could be at 250 this week. Could we drop another 250? We didn't. So we are fine. We did not accelerate any faster than the week before. And that's the first item. The second item is that the other economic data across the board shows we're not accelerating week after week any faster. We're just at the same growth rate. There's other indications as well. We may actually slow down in our recovery. The ports are backed up. The chips and the chip delivery and the semiconductor chips are backed up. And those could derail reopening across the board. So at the moment, we are fine for the economy. 8 million jobs missing, 16 million people unemployed, not that full recovery possible by July. And finally, bipartisan support, not happening. The president will make it look like he's trying to chase bipartisan support. It's just optics. It's just dog and pony show. It's not ever going to happen. The Republicans 4 weeks ago said to the president, we're not going to do $2 trillion, we're not going to do climate, and we'll give you $600, $800 billion for infrastructure. President said, no way. So what happened? He negotiated with them, met with them for 3 weeks in the Oval Office. And how did that work? Not very good. It went the other direction. So now it's no $2 trillion, no climate, and now $500 billion. Didn't go particularly well. So the president has to go by reconciliation. And if it wasn't very obvious about the lack of bipartisan support early in the week, now it's very obvious because this end of this week, we saw the introduction informally of the fifth stimulus package this fall. How much is the fifth stimulus package and what is the price tag for it? It's $1 trillion. If you were with me last year, you'll recall the Republicans did not want to spend more than $400 billion a year. How much is the president going to spend or hoping to spend between January and September this year? $6 trillion. The Republicans are never going to give him a penny for that. They're never going to give him a penny to go past $2 trillion, which they didn't want to support in January, now $3 trillion for July, and now another trillion for September. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So he's going to have to keep on doing recon after recon after recon. And that's before this. On Wednesday, I can report that the president's set to debut verbally, not in writing, but verbally, the fifth stimulus package called the American Family Plan, the September one. The fifth stimulus package for September will be debuted verbally. You know, roadshow, no bill, no documents, verbally this Wednesday. And what is he also going to announce? He's going to raise the capital gains tax. That's so not going to get bipartisan support. It may not even get Democratic support. So what's important to understand is for stimulus, those monthly stimulus checks in July are going to go by recon. All right, let's turn to the other item that's heating up, fifth stimulus for September. Incredible great news. It is SSI, SSDI, Social Security reform. Boy, we have waited anxiously for this for a very long time. And as we go into the big evening, this is the news that we had wanted to see. And finally, it's happening. This SSI reform is part of the fifth stimulus package, and it will be put in there by Democrats. The Democrats are putting in SSI reform as a series of incredible items detailed in a letter released this last week. That letter, signed after page of senators and House members, provides the following: removing the benefit, increasing the benefit level, increasing the benefits levels. That's a tongue twister. Increasing the asset limits, removing the, adding the inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. What is that? What does that mean? Let me make it very easy, breezy, and clear for you to understand, which is what we do on this channel. This channel turns 1 year old today, and boy, there's one thing I learned early on is to make things easy and simple to follow. I'm going to do it right now with the SSI reform. First, what they're going to do is they're going to take your benefits. So everyone that's watching, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, Veterans, everyone, they're going to take your benefits and raise them up. New number. Big, new, beautiful number. That's your new number going forward. Get rid of the old number. Old number's gone. New number going forward. Okay, that's number one. Then, every December, you get a letter that says, "Hi, we're looking to determine whether to raise your benefits next year based upon a current benchmark." Guess what always happens? Either it's not being raised or it raises 12 cents or 2 pennies. It's because they were tying you to COLA, C-O-L-A, which doesn't move. Eggs, milk, gas goes up, and COLA stays the same. It's the same thing over and over again. So they're getting rid of COLA. And instead of CPIE, which is what Elizabeth Warren wanted, they have a better idea. I love it. They're doing inflation as the benchmark. Wow. So as inflation goes up, your benefits will go up. Every December, you get a letter saying, "Hi, your benefits are going to go up because inflation is now 3%. So you're going to go up 3%. Great news. What's really easy and breezy about this is there's always 1 to 4% inflation in this country. It always is. And over the next few years, we're anticipating 2 to 3% inflationary growth. So your benefits are always going to go up 2 to 3% over the next few years. Easy. Great. Third, they're going to remove they're going to remove the asset cap. What's the asset cap? It dates back to the Reagan administration, 1984, where you couldn't keep more than $3,000 on account in some benefit situations. They're going to get rid of it. Number 4, the fourth one I'm really excited about. They should have done this decades ago. Why? Because it dates back to 1962. There is an income cap that has not been changed since 1962. They're going to get rid of it and allow you to work if you want to work. You don't have to work. But if you want to work, you can work and take home $1,000, $2,000 a month approximately. Keep it and not go off benefits. And finally, if you know what the marriage penalty is, I don't need to describe it, you know what it is, they're getting rid of that as well. Incredible great news. Incredible great news to go into the evening. Evenings LA, of course, is coming up next. This is the incredible news that we had wanted for SSI reform. As Americans have wondered where that SSI reform is, we were promised it during the campaign trails, we were promised it in the transition papers, and we've waited for it anxiously to arrive. Now it's arriving, but when would we physically see it? Here's what you need to know is you're going to see it in fifth stimulus, which happens this fall. So fifth stimulus would start in September, take 2 months for recon. I think you would physically see the impact of this on your benefits statement in the last 2 months of the year. The last 2 months of the year is when you would physically see that deposit occur. Meantime, I have big news about the business grants, the Shutter Venue Grant, the PPP, the EIDL, the $5,000, the $10,000. Big updates about student loan debt forgiveness, the Ron Wyden $6,000. I also have big updates as well about what's happening with Bernie Sanders, the capital gains tax, and what's happening this coming Wednesday for the president, the wealth tax and the SS200. All those details and more are coming up after this commercial break. I have a lot coming up in this recording, so stay with me. I'll be back in just 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on afternoons LALATE with more coming up in 2 hours from now. As Evenings LALATE hits up in 2 hours from now, join me as Evenings LALATE kicks it up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we're back with LA Late Night. It's a big day across the board with exciting, great news across the board. I'm so excited for you. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Boy, what a day it is, and big details coming up later in this recording. Student loan debt forgiveness, mortgage forbearance, also the business grants, and more. I'm so excited for you. Let's get to the details right now. This coming week, Elizabeth Warren will have a big conference, and that conference will go over student loan debt forgiveness and, moreover, the wealth tax. That will heat up this coming week as the wealth tax will heat up during a congressional hearing that will be held by Elizabeth Warren. Remember, the wealth tax is what pays for SSI $200. Also, about to choke there. Also making news is the student loan debt forgiveness. The student loan debt forgiveness was supposed to have that memo from the Miguel Cardona nearly 2 weeks ago, but where is it? Well, in this recording, I can reveal to you it's now late, very late. Not just 1 week late, now 2 weeks late. And broadcast media has been watching, apparently, this channel because now they're running the same story, asking where's the letter? The letter was to say that the president can't forgive student loan debt by executive order. So why has the letter not been produced? Obama can do it, has done it, Trump did it, so Biden can do it. Moreover, there's a great new report out this weekend that shows that of congressional leaders surveyed, over 50% want student loan debt forgiveness, but the other 50% said they'll do it just with a lower amount. Great news across the board. Also making news today is the incredible details about that business changes. The business changes of SBA are surprising people because the shuttered venue grant was supposed to go live on Saturday. It did not. So now it's being held over to next week. The $5,000 EIDL grant has not gone live. So that's being held over. But the remainder of the $10,000 grant is live, and the PPP grant is live as well. Mortgage forbearance, money for rent, utilities, and food from third stimulus is still landing. It's taking a little time. It was supposed to be there in February, and it's now coming in May. Meantime, what's going on with the surprising developing details next week? The surprising developing details next week will unfold on Wednesday when a major announcement will be made by the President of the United States. And during that announcement, we will see what will be happening for you and your taxes. Fifth stimulus is part of a series of items that are coming out. And those series of items that are coming out will be supported by tax changes. But what will the tax changes look like? I have all those details coming up right now. Let's look again at fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is a $1 trillion package. And ultimately, the president's proposing to do fifth stimulus with more taxes. Here's the number. What's going on this week with those taxes? Well, the President of the United States is proposing to change the capital gains tax under fifth stimulus. What's capital gains? And why is this important? And what is Wall Street going to say about it? Let me explain what capital gains tax is. It's taxes on anything you make a profit on. Buy a chair, resell it. Capital gains tax. Buy a house, resell it. Capital gains tax. Buy a car, resell it. Capital gains tax. So why is this very important? Because ultimately the current capital gains tax rate is 20%, and the president's proposing something that's enormously high, close to 50%. Here's the problem. People cannot assess risk if they don't know what the risk is. And the president has not been forthcoming about the taxes at issue under fourth stimulus. And now we're heading to fifth stimulus, and we're hearing about new taxes, and we don't know what they are. As to fourth stimulus, we haven't heard enough about which tax, what rate, and for who. Now we're starting to hear for fifth stimulus other taxes, but we don't know for who, what rate, and how soon. This is causing a lot of financial uncertainty, and financial uncertainty erupts when people cannot gauge risk. Wall Street has not heard the full news of this, but on Thursday started to hear the dribbles of it, thinking that it was coming in January. But now we're hearing it's coming on Wednesday. Yeah, it's coming on Wednesday for September. So Wall Street will see its first impact of it, this news, tomorrow, Monday. Crypto has felt the impact of it all weekend long, with crypto trading down severely based upon this news. But what should you know? Ultimately, what you should know is that a lack of clarity about what is going on with different taxes and different tax rates and different tax brackets causes uncertainty. And uncertainty causes economic instability and sometimes causes selling. People will sell in advance of the news on fear that the news is bad, even though the news may not be bad, because they don't know how to assess the risk. At issue is the president announcing stuff for September that would take effect under next year's tax code, and that ultimately would impact if you do things next year. So what are people doing this year? They're already starting to sell based upon the rumor, not based upon the news. Again, these are people moving based upon the rumor before the news is formally announced. But when will the news be announced? That's also an issue. Fourth stimulus, which is about to start reconciliation any moment, has still not gotten confirmation of which taxes, which tax bracket, and which rate. We've heard corporate taxes being raised a few percentage points, but no one believes that's the full extent of the fourth stimulus, because fourth stimulus would have to involve other taxes than just corporate taxes. A lot of confusion across the board. Meantime, what's happening next week? Well, a lot of big developing details happening next week, and those are corporate earnings. Those corporate earnings coming in next week could signal whether the economy is rebounding at a faster rate or at the same rate. And let's go over all those corporate earnings and what they're showing for next week. Remember, corporate earnings tell us if we're recovering faster or slower. And faster means you need the stimulus out the door faster. On Monday, Tesla reports earnings. Its projected call is very strong. I'm betting the quarter will be a good one, says Jim Cramer. Alphabet is then on Tuesday, with Microsoft and Starbucks reporting Q1 on Tuesday. We have to focus on Google Cloud. I think it's stealing the show. I like it very much, says Cramer, as to Alphabet. For Microsoft, Cramer says the following. Microsoft stock has had so much run that it needs to report a monster quarter with a huge Azure number. The funny thing is they'll probably do it. I say with it. But of Starbucks, Cramer says the following. Starbucks has had a monster run over the past year in anticipation of the great reopening and call. Well, that may be too early. I'm looking for a pullback. Ooh, so he says pullback for Starbucks. Then on Wednesday is Boeing, Apple, Ford, and Facebook. He says, I'm betting that for Boeing that it's going to be good. If you're like me, you think you're heading to unprecedented economic boom, the biggest travel onslaught in the history of the nation, then you want to own the company that's more leveraged to it, and that's Boeing. For Apple, he says it's been a laggard, but it could have potential inroad in the enterprise. And then Ford, I anticipate excellent numbers despite the chip shortage. Sorry about the spelling error there about Facebook. And then we go into Thursday with Amazon, which Cramer says will be good. Judging from what we saw from Snap last night, I think you're going to have to believe that it's going to be good for Amazon. I think the company has gained new adherents. I think the stock works, but Friday may not be a good day. Friday will be reports from Exxon, Chevron, Clorox, and Colgate. Chevron, when he says, I listen to the people talk, I think it's kind of positive. But for Clorox, he says the following. Wall Street is not clear about this. At best, they're battlefield stocks, and there's no reason to go near a battlefield stock. Not in this market. Wow. As we go into a big evening of Evenings LA, so much happening across the board. Fourth stimulus heating up next week. Fifth stimulus going to that press conference on Wednesday. Eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance and student loan and other items expiring in September. What you may see when we're talking about fourth stimulus is a lot of items sliding into the fourth stimulus by recon. Could they extend FPUC, PUA, PUC? They said they would not. But remember, Juan Wyden has that $6,000 provision, that bill. He may try to slide that into fourth stimulus. That's $250 a week for anyone who's a PUA person over 6 months, $6,000. Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax bill, I don't think it will slide into fourth stimulus. It's too controversial. But the $200 for SSI, it could, whether it's contradictory or duplicative to people on SSI who also will be getting monthly stimulus checks. And what about Bernie Sanders' minimum wage increase? Will that slide into fourth stimulus? I think he's going to attempt to get it in there. I don't think it's going to get in there. And there you are. What a big day it has been, a 1-year anniversary of this channel with a lot of retro footage. Coming up on Evenings LA, you're going to see a special never seen before on this channel. I throw it back to the early days of this channel and show you the good, the bad, and everything in between. Here's the message of hope and aspiration going into the evening. First, do whatever you always think is good. Second, don't be dependent on something else. Third, don't have other people tell you what to do. Do what's in your heart and what's in your soul. Ultimately, focus on what works and what you think makes sense. Don't have people tell you they do it this way and someone else does it that way. I did it my way. And so did Frank Sinatra. I did it my way, and ultimately, it showed. This channel's not like any other channel. This channel's clearly different. And this channel stayed its course and did things the way it wanted to do it. Not how other people said, that's the way you do it. There is no universal way to do anything, ever. You do it in the way that makes sense to you, in the way that you enjoy it. Ultimately, my focus was on information, education, also being uplifting and motivational and fun. And we did along the way. There was always someone that said, you shouldn't be making jokes. Well, don't be so depressed. Go somewhere else if you want to be depressed. This is not the this is not the horror channel. This is not the night at the Temple of Doom. This is So there's always someone that'll tell you to do something other than what you're doing. You do what makes sense to you. And ultimately, if you have fun and you're informative and you think you're going in the right direction, you probably are. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big day of Afternoons LA. I'm back with you with 2 more shows today. I hope you join me. After this is Evenings LA. That's in 2 hours from now. Here's the programming schedule. Evenings LA heats up in 2 hours from now at 8 p.m. And then we go into LA Late Night at 10 p.m. with Sirloin and Javita Late. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling. Make sure you subscribe. A 1-year anniversary today, so give it a subscribe if you haven't. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, keep on staying focused. Thank you for the first year, and let's have a great second year across the board. There's a lot of stuff still happening, and we're far from the finish line for so many things still to occur. One after another, we'll stay on top of it. And we'll stay here with LALATE.